No more tricks. No more ancient artifacts. No more weapons. Let us see what you are made of, old man.
All right then, if that's how you want to play it.
Welcome back, nerds. Fino here with a servant guide for Irisviel. She's a 4-star caster and the welfare servant for Excel Zero Order. This will be the last time she's available, so you may as well know what you're getting into. This one's gonna take some explanation. Irisviel broadly fits into the mold of a supportive healer. As expected, she has a targeted heal in the form of her 3rd skill, Magical Healing. 3k health every 5 turns, nothing too exciting. If you're feeling spicy, you can pair it with her 1st skill, Sacrificial Resolve, which is a heal amp you can pop once every 7 turns. Again, pretty whatever. As a dedicated healer, she got slaughtered by Media Lily, even back in the old days, and it's only gotten worse with Merlin's release. What Irisviel does have, though, is her Noble Phantasm, Song of Grail. In addition to being a party-wide burst heal, it also gives guts to that frontline. That might not seem too crazy when you have servants like Jean and Merlin floating around, but a fair number of challenge battles feature enemies that have permanent invuln pierce. Occasionally, they even ignore defense. In this situation, your only defensive option, aside from killing them faster, is guts. You may recall the Arash exhibition quest from Eurofest 3, where he needed to Stella himself to death. Now, defense stacking did work for that particular fight, but that's neither here nor there. The point is you could eat Stella, revive, and rest to charge up another Song of Grail. Works great except for one thing, you gotta charge it. One reason why Irisviel and Kiritsugu got matched on OkCupid is that they have a shared interest in awful NP gain. Irisviel can sorta offset it with her 2nd skill, Child of Nature. It's a 1-turn invuln with a 3-turn NP gain buff. Of course, the problem is that you're wasting half the skill in a lot of cases. The turns where you wanna invuln aren't gonna line up neatly with your arts cards, not in a standard team anyway. But in a solo run, the math works out better. Irisviel has a 3 arts deck, meaning she can arts Brave Chain whenever she's on the field by herself. Or with a locked hand, though I don't know why you'd ever run that combo. One of the strange upsides of this approach is that you can clear certain bosses with just Irisviel reviving herself over and over while dealing chip damage. Guts interacts with FGO's combat system in such a way that if you only have one character on the field and they have Guts, the enemy will stop attacking once they pop it. I think there's a fight in Lost Belt 3 that violates this rule, but it's definitely the exception. So as long as you can charge Song of Grail for NP turns or other low health scenarios, Irisviel can survive indefinitely. What you're about to see is extremely pointless and extremely slow at killing anything, but very hard to kill in turn. Asclepius is a 3-star caster coming in Lost Belt 4. In most respects, he's a powercrept Irisviel with a lower deployment cost, stronger single target heal, party charge, party NP gain, party debuff removal, and, get this, his NP gives everyone guts except him. He supplants her in pretty much every situation that doesn't require you to continuously revive. Really, when you have trouble with a fight, he's one of the first things you check in your toolkit. Once he comes out, Irisviel is pretty much on life support. Castoria, though, flatlines her. The reason you bother with guts to begin with is to get around unavoidable damage. However, Castoria's Noble Phantasm has a special super invuln that ignores invuln pierce. So forget reviving, forget scrambling to get your health back, just swat that shit away. It's so dumb, but it is what it is. If you want to live forever, Castoria takes you a long way towards immortality. I'll get into the implications of this a bit later, but let me tell you now, it ain't good news for Miss Einzbern. Craft essence-wise, I couldn't find an excuse to recommend Golden Sumo, sorry to say. For supportive applications, I'd say your choice boils down to Prisma Cosmos or Devilish Bodhisattva, depending on the fight's tempo. If you need multiple team-wide guts, Prisma Cosmos will give you great value over time. Devilish Bodhisattva comes into play when you only expect to NP once. Your revived health is tied to overcharge, so it'll give you more upfront value. For solos, there's Maiden Halloween, which gives a huge heal amplifier. It gives you the survivability you need to actually build up Irisviel's NP, which can take 2 to 3 turns even with Art's Brave Chains. Man oh man, has Irisviel not aged well. First of all, big dumb healers are generally not parts of a winning strategy, so outside of her NP, she offers relatively little to a cohesive team. Secondly, she's absolutely massacred in that role. First by Media Lily before she even got released. Second by Merlin, and third by Asclepius. And those last two do a lot of shit besides just heal. Then again, so does Irisviel. Party-wide Guts is pretty good in a vacuum, and unlike Asclepius, it affects her too. But she just charges too damn slow to reliably exploit that in anything outside a solo run or a dedicated defensive arts team. Worse yet, the idea of party-wide guts is, in and of itself, on a timer to being power-crept by Castoria and her special buff. So really the only team application she'll have after that point is dealing with insta-kill gimmicks. Except that's a lie. Of all the fucking servants, Scotty already ate her lunch. Remember Gate of Sky? That NP with the effect you never read because you're a brainlet? Yeah, the fine print says you get to not instantly die. That just leaves one tiny niche for Irisviel: solo clears. Admittedly, what I've seen is pretty disgusting, yet effective, including Honk's clear of the Summer 1 boar battle and Exnaya's clear of the Summer 4 challenge quest. Now, I'm no expert on Irisviel solos, but it seems like the recipe calls for either Event Damage CEs or Made in Halloween. Now, the problem with that second option is that Made in Halloween was tied to Halloween 1. It got its rerun, that ship has sailed. Odds are we're never seeing it again. And I can tell you there's no other craft essence in the game with that big of a heal amp, so you may find your options constrained when you attempt your own solos. Fair warning. Overall, Irisviel is in a pretty bad spot balance-wise, and it'll only get worse from here on. She was already a niche servant even on release, and she keeps getting power crept out of the niches that she does have. That said, not all bad news. She's free, doesn't need any standard ascension materials, lets you choose a few fights until Castoria comes out, and there's no such thing as too much Setsubun fodder. I mean, it's not like you're spending money, so you may as well pick her up. That's all for now, hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe for more FGO guides and spicy stream highlights. Speaking of which, I stream weekends, Friday through Sunday at 3 PM Pacific. See ya there.